to get going. Gotta catch those runners taking off like a Boeing. If the volume spikes, then it's time to trade. Mighty 90 setting up, it's time to get paid. Navigation trading on the mic, time to get focused. We don't need any indicator, hocus pocus. It's all about the price, just watch it move. Manage your risks so you don't lose. First hour of trading is all we need. Focus on the patience and forget about greed.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to today's day trading live stream, Tuesday, February 10th. Had a little retail sales pre-market announcement, a little bit of a up move in the market. This kind of started before that came out, though. S&P futures up 6 points, NASDAQ up 34, Russell up about 1, pretty flat, and the Dow pretty flat, up 47. Gold up 1/3%. Silver is pretty unchanged. Notes and bonds a little bit green. 10-year yield down a little over 1%. Oil up 1/3. Natural gas up 1%. Soybeans, wheat, and corn all a little bit green. Euro and the pound are pretty unchanged, and Bitcoin is down over 2%, back below 70,000, 69,340. VIX is just dipped into the red, so my 1 DTE may not fire. I'll just let the bot do it if it qualifies or not. Need a positive VIX print at the open for that to fire. It's currently at 17.35. Opening bell here in a couple minutes. As far as biggest movers, D-Dog had earnings. It's up 12%. MDB is up 6%. That was not on the back of earnings. Snowflake is up 5%. Also not earnings related. Shopify up 3%. APP up 3%. A lot of chip stocks are up. TSM, Oracle, PLTR, AVGO, NVIDIA. I know a couple of those I mentioned are not chip stocks, but Microsoft is also up 1.5%. Netflix is up 1.5%. There was some news that came out. I was watching CNBC this morning. Paramount kind of solidifying their offer to buy Warner Brothers, but Netflix stock is up. As far as biggest red, Jumia is down 13%. HIM's down another 4.5%. BMNR down 3%. All the cryptos are down. Coinbase, Circle, MSTR, Hood are all lower. So crypto's weak, chips strong, and a few of the Mag 7 are green pre-market. Got about 1 minute till the bell. Good morning, everyone. Morning, Hondo. Morning, Watson. Articulate. Brandon. Krish. Morning, everyone. Looks like the SPX expected move is going to be a little above 30 points today to start. There is the bell. I'm going to mark the SPX expected move at 30.92. It was over 43 yesterday. A lot of premiums sucked out of the markets with the big moves up Friday and yesterday. Netflix pushing out of the open. Tesla pushing out of the open. Popped up above previous day high. Chip stocks also bouncing. AMD back above previous day high. So I'm going to load up some calls on Tesla to start. I'm going to be trading 1 DTE todays if they're available. So Tesla 1 DTE, I'd trade the 425 calls. I'm just going to get that loaded up. It's acting strong out of the gate. I'm also going to get Netflix on my board. Netflix does not have 1 DTEs available, so I'll trade 3 DTE. And I'll trade the 84 strike. And then lastly, I'm going to load AMD. AMD 3 DTE, I would trade the 220s calls. So AMD, Tesla, and Netflix, the strongest out of the gate. Let's see if they hold here. IWM rejecting previous day high. AMD pulling back to previous day high now. AMD dip below previous day high. Netflix staying strong. Tesla staying strong. Q's kind of coming down. IWM rejecting a little bit. S&P's little bounce is coming down a little bit. IWM popping back up. NVIDIA coming down. NVIDIA's acting weak. AVGO came down to unchanged. AMD kind of popped initially, but back below previous day high. Tesla coming back down towards previous day high. I may take an early one in Tesla here if I get a good entry. 425 calls in Tesla 1 DTE is what I'd be trading. It may take off without me though. It would be definitely an aggressive early entry. AMD popped back above previous day high as well. Tezzy just popped up new highs, no entry. IWM popped right back up to previous day high. S&P kind of dipping a little bit now. Bitcoin a little dip in the first 5 minutes. AMD popped back up as well. Nice push in Tesla. IWM pushing through previous day high, pushing through pre-market highs. Getting a little dip in the S&P and NASDAQ. Google through lows, Nvidia through lows, AVGO down to lows. Microsoft coming down hard. AVGO into the red now. IWM rejecting previous day high again, and S&P and NASDAQ coming down. AMD back to previous day high, getting some weakness coming in here. Still watching Tesla. AMD now dipping below previous day high. My 1DTE didn't fire though, obviously. VIX ended up a little bit negative, so my bot didn't hit the criteria. All right, so Tesla pulling back a little bit now. AMD just kind of choppy around previous day high. Indices weak. IWM big rejection again. Bitcoin coming down hard. AVGO flushed into the red, trying to get back in the green. Apple couldn't stay green. Amazon coming down hard. Tesla coming back down towards that previous day high. See if Tesla wants to hold here. If I do see some strength start to come back in, S&P and NASDAQ starting to bounce. Still watching Tesla. AMD kind of rejected its previous day high pretty hard. Still watching that. Some weakness in the chips, bringing the market down. Watching Tesla here. Watching Tesla. S&P stay green. NASDAQ still in the red. No entry in Tezzy yet. AMD getting weak now. It couldn't hold. IWM couldn't hold. So Tesla's showing the most relative strength. With Netflix is holding pretty good as well. AVGO weak. IWM just went red. NASDAQ in the red. S&P at red at unchanged. I want to see some strength come in the S&P and Qs, and then Tesla start to pop if I enter. Watching Netflix as well. I'd be trading the 84 calls in Netflix. NASDAQ through pre-market lows, overnight lows. I'm going to load some puts in NVIDIA. I would do the 1DTE, and I would do the 187.5 puts in NVIDIA. I'll just load those up just in case here.
Order partially
IWM,
filled.
big rejection down to lows.
Order filled.
Weakness still coming in. So Tesla definitely pulled back, but is still holding above previous day high. Netflix still pulling back, but it's holding strong compared to the flush we're seeing. Microsoft pushed down into previous day high. Netflix starting to bounce. I'm going to take Netflix 84 calls here. Watching it, haven't entered yet. Watching Netflix, started to act strong here. All right, I'm going to take Netflix. 84 calls, filled at $1.19. See if we can get extension back up to highs of day and beyond. I'll put my first profit target in Netflix on a break of highs, which so I've got my first profit at $1.35 in Netflix. Netflix right near highs of day. Need a little bit of a pop through. We don't have the indices on our side as far as showing strength, but Netflix definitely showing some relative strength. And if the indices bounce, could give Netflix a nice lift. Netflix had the news this morning with the whole Time Warner or Warner Brothers deal and acted strong. So let's see if we get some continuation here. Tesla still chopping near previous day high. Pre-market highs in Tesla is just below the previous day high. Netflix trying to make a new high of day. Microsoft had a nice little drop right down to previous day high and bounced. Nvidia staying weak. Tesla trying to bounce off previous day high here. Still watching Tesla here. S&P back in the green. IWM flushing. NASDAQ staying a bit weak. Netflix trying to make new highs. Can't break through. Come on, Nettie. Pop it up there, Nettie. It's getting close. Profit target's at $1.35. Looks like it got up to touched $1.35, but I did not get filled. $1.34s would have gotten filled. Did not push through $1.35. S&P trying to stay green. NASDAQ trying to bounce off of pre-market lows, overnight lows. Netflix kind of rejecting right at our profit target. That's too bad. See if Netflix can pop back up. Tezzy just chopping right above previous day high. PLTR going through lows. AMD now through lows. That strength couldn't hold up. Chips getting weak. Meta going through lows. Microsoft is acting strong, and Netflix is still holding. Tezzy acting like it wants to go higher. It's just being held back. Amazon's starting to bounce. Microsoft trying to go through highs. Meta, a little bounce. QQQ flushed the pre-market overnight lows. Pretty aggressive bounce. Same with IWM.
Order filled.
Tesla still trying to hold. AMD flushed through
Order
lows.
filled.
It's trying to bounce. Pretty aggressive bounce on IWM and NASDAQ and S&P. Not much of an aggressive bounce out of Tesla, though. It is just holding. Still need to push through highs in Netflix to hit first profit target. Still watching Tesla. I'm going to take Tesla here. Taking the 425 calls. If it breaks back below this current candle, I'm just going to cut it. But even a move back up to highs of day would be a really nice move. It's just kind of holding. I like the higher time frame strength that it's had the last few days. So what I don't want is this market's little bounce to get flushed back down. So it kind of dipped below previous day high right down here to this pre-market high. So I'm not going to let it go any lower than that, but I just kind of like the risk reward here off this level. AMD back in the green, getting some big bounces in the chip stocks. Amazon big bounce, Meta pretty decent bounce. Need Tesla and Netflix to rip. Nice bounce in the S&P and Qs. IWM kind of getting shut back down. Come on, Tezzy. Get back on the bull train, buddy. Netflix, a little dip getting bought up. Let's see if it can make another shot at highs.
Order filled.
IWM got rejected at previous day close, back down to lows of day almost, while the S&P and NASDAQ are ripping higher. Tesla just sitting there. Netflix hasn't been able to break through. Didn't really get a nice aggressive buy at this level with Tesla, but I like the risk reward, so I'll cut it if it goes below that previous candle here. All right, Netflix approaching highs of day again. I've still got my profit target at $1.35 in Netflix. AVGO, big bounce. Apple trying to go green. Amazon just went green. Google pushing up to previous day lows. Tezzy starting to bounce a little bit.
Order filled.
I'll put my first profit target at 420 in Tesla. $4.20, which is below highs of day. Netflix is getting close to our profit target. Netflix filled at $1.35. See if we can get an extension here out of Netflix. Another little push in Tesla back above its first 5-minute bar would hit our first profit target at 420. I mean, you got to go 420. It's Elon's favorite number again. So I'll put another profit target in Netflix. I'm going to put it at $1.52. Another little push up in Tesla should hit. Microsoft still ripping. Amazon big bounce. S&P back up to previous day high. IWM, which is acting weak again, back in the green. Bitcoin little bounce up to previous day low. Here comes Tezzy. Come on, Tezzy. All right, Tesla getting close. Tesla filled at 420. Nice. So next profit target in Tesla, I'd want up close to highs of day. Let's go with 490 for my next profit target, right at highs of day. Did anyone take Netflix and or Tesla with me? Hondo, nice. Jamal, looks like you might have. Joseph T, very good. Moel, both. Tony, both. Watson, Netflix. Tony, both. Scooby, Tesla, nice. Sorry, let me catch up with some other. I haven't looked at the chat here. Krish, heard your ding. You might want to check what filled. Yeah, sorry, that was something else. Dark Avenger. I just had my bot manage that, so VIX ended up contracting into the open, so it didn't fire. Netflix almost got to my second profit target. Tesla not really pushing through here. Glad to have gotten out of one profit target, but no follow through here. Back down to my entry, basically. Microsoft is on a mission. Amazon looks like it's on a mission now. Some of the chip stocks still staying weak. MU's in the middle of a big bounce, but AMD back in the red. ABGO tried to bounce. Netflix filled at $1.52. S&P pausing at previous day high. IWM back in the red. What are banks doing today? Big banks are a little bit green. Goldman's up 1.3%. Don't want to see a rejection here on the SPYs at previous day high. We need to push through to help Tezzy out. Tesla coming back down to previous day high now. I'm going to have an order to cut the rest of my Tesla if it doesn't bounce here. Tesla not showing that relative strength like it was to start. Q's now pushing up towards highs. S&P holding. Tesla's not really giving us what we want here. So I've got a tight leash on my remaining Tesla. I'm gonna cut Tezzy. Filled at 291 on my last ones. Well, I'll re-enter if it starts to kind of reclaim that previous day high and get strong, but it's just not acting good. Still holding runners in Netflix. It's holding up well. So Tesla ended up being a small winner. Netflix is acting like a nice winner. See if we can get any more out of it. Yeah, Tesla's still coming down. Good exit. Crypto stocks pretty choppy. It's gotten into softy. It just needed to come down and test previous day high before it ripped. Yeah, daily chart looks good there. Netflix trying to make a new high. Amazon through highs. Amazon looked so weak early. Now it just got it all back in more. SMCI looks pretty good as it kind of pulled back to previous day high. SMCI not one I really trade a lot, but I'm gonna put SMCI on my board. It would be the 3 DTE, and I would trade the 34 calls in SMCI. $34 calls in SMCI. I'm going to go ahead and get in those. Filled at 107 and 105. Right off previous nice rejection or reclaim on that previous day high. See if we can push back up to highs of day. Indices staying strong. I've got my first profit target in SMCI at $1.17, right at highs of day. See if we can get a pop up there. MU is pushing nicely. Some of these chips are starting to bounce. Let's see if SMCI can push through. IWM trying to come back to life and catch up. S&P and NASDAQ through previous day high.
Order filled. Order partially filled.
SMCI coming up. Those options are up to $1.14. I need $1.17. Another little pop to highs of day. MU going for it. Come on, MU. Pull your little SMCI buddy up with you. Qs and S&P raging. IWM trying to get back up to previous day high. SMCI not quite up there yet. Need a little tick higher to get filled. Tesla trying to get back above previous day high now. Netflix is still making new highs. I don't have another profit target in Netflix. I'm just down to trailers. Just down to a few runners here. I've got 7 contracts in Netflix left. I did 40, got out of 25, got out of 8, and I've got 7 left. Got out of my last one's at $1.52. It's trading at about $1.60 now. SMCI need a little pop here. Tezzy coming back to life. Apple or Microsoft and Amazon still pushing. Netflix pushing. I'll put another profit target in Netflix at $1.75 to close 4 of my remaining 7. SMCI no follow through off that bounce. PLTR was pretty choppy and just kind of choppy to the downside. Now it's starting to bounce. Tezzy's coming. Here comes Tezzy. I've already got a runner in Netflix and I've got SMCI, so I'm not going to get in. I'm not going to do anything with Tesla, but it looks like it may be ready. I don't like the entry here either necessarily, but SMCI is a little dip, trying to get bought back up. No, I'm not in Tesla. I got out for a small winner. But it's reclaiming back above previous day high. SMCI tried to bounce, got shut back down again. Kind of looked like the chips wanted to start gaining a little steam with MU kind of leading the way, but not yet. We do have all-time highs in play for SPX today, my friends. 7002 is all-time highs, currently at 6981. All right, SMCI coming back down, watching it. Not going to give it too much room below previous day high here. I need it to bounce right here. Netflix having a little pullback. S&P, NASDAQ dipping. See if SMCI can hold here. Got my order ready to cut SMCI if it doesn't bounce. Nope, coming down. All right, I'm going to cut. Filled at 88.
Filled.
So now just holding my runners in Netflix. It is pulling back a little bit. Aggressive rejection in S&P and NASDAQ at previous day high. IWM back in the red. Tesla dipped, but it's bouncing back quickly with the S&P and NASDAQ kind of bouncing. I'm going to watch Tesla here. I'll be back. I'll be back in just a minute. Indices still staying a little bit weak. No strength out of Tesla. Netflix still pulling back a little bit here. I really want to see Netflix bounce here. I don't want to give any more back than this. MU still pushing. It didn't really skip a beat on that little dip. Microsoft and Amazon pulled back a decent amount. Google's still bouncing. It's kind of paused. Tesla's still just chopping above previous day high. So if I were to re-enter Tesla, I would want to see a pretty aggressive bounce here above that little chop area. Right, it keeps bouncing off that 424 level. I would want to see kind of an aggressive push above that, and then try to get beyond highs of day and beyond. Watching Netflix to exit my remaining runners. IWM bouncing back. S&P, NASDAQ bouncing back. SMCI popped back up to previous day high. I'm not going to re-enter SMCI. I will re-enter Tesla, though.
Order partially filled. Order filled.
If.
Order cancelled.
If it gives us a reason to. Nice little snap back to previous day high in SPY. Nice little snap back twice in IWM, back in the green. Big pullback in Microsoft, which has been the strongest. Amazon's dip getting bought up a little bit. Netflix, a tiny bounce. S&P back above previous day high. NASDAQ just below. Russell just sweepy and choppy. Need Netflix to hold here. All right, IWM getting a little aggressive. S&P holding strong. Nice pop back up in SMCI if anybody held. Big banks all at highs of day. Cryptos still kind of choppy. Hood a little bit stronger than some of the other cryptos. S&P almost up to highs of day. NASDAQ trying to get back above previous day high. Same with IWM. Netflix still kind of holding. Well, S&P and NASDAQ back below previous day high. IWM a little rejection. All right. We may not get any more upside here soon enough. Give it a few more minutes. PLTR back through lows. Microsoft still pulling back. Tesla still in super chop mode. SMCI looks like it's ready to run too. Unfortunately, I got kind of squeezed out of that one before it bounced. All right, Netflix. I may just cut my remaining runners here in Netflix. Getting back close to my entry on these remaining runners. Still just watching. Anybody still in SMCI? That one popped up almost back up to highs a day. I was a tick away from getting filled on that first profit target as well. I don't see anything else that I really like. MU was acting super strong. It pulled back. Don't really see an entry I like there. Tesla starting to creep back up a little bit. Still watching Tesla. If it can break through here. And the S&P and NASDAQ are showing some strength. All right, watching Tesla. Same 425 calls, 1 DTE. Netflix still holding. S&P trying to get back above previous day high. Netflix has gotten rejected multiple times today, right here. Excuse me, did I say Netflix? Tesla has gotten rejected multiple times right here. First 5 minutes, it pushed above it. The second 5 minutes, but came back down, and then just it keeps tapping this area. It's jabbing it. Jab, 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 but it's about to give it the right hook, I think, Watson. I think it's about to get the right hook. We'll see. We will see. IWM creeping back up towards previous day high. I mean, S&P wants those all-time highs. It wants it. Maybe not today, but it wants it. It's going to get it. IWM pushing. Tesla's getting ready. Get set. Go. I'm in. I'm taking Tesla. Filled at 422. See if Tesla can actually push through without rejecting this time. First profit target I have is at $5. It's going to need to get to highs of day. IWM through highs. Amazon back to highs. S&P through highs. NASDAQ almost there. Come on, Tezzy. Everybody else is getting all highs of day. SMCI back to highs. By the way, just so you guys know, like the reason I'm continuing to show this interest in Tesla is more because of the daily higher time frame chart too. I wouldn't if it didn't look good on the higher time frame, I would not be giving it another shot like this. Netflix still trying to hold. See if it's got any more in the tank to the upside. IWM gaining some steam. Crypto's coming to life. Circle, Coin, MSTR, HOOD, all bouncing. Nice bounce in Bitcoin. PLTR bouncing. AMD is doing absolutely nothing today. Acted strong for about 5-10 minutes this morning, but just chopping now under unchanged. MU still pulling back. Nvidia still weak. Well, Tezzy looked like it had a little momentum, like it might be somebody. Coming back below that 424 level. Amazon pushed up towards previous day high, kind of pulling back. Netflix still looks like it's trying to climb. S&P just really choppy around that previous day high. NASDAQ back below. IWM back below. So we'll see if we get any follow through here. I got a short leash on Tezzy. Short leash, Tezzy. Netflix creeping back up towards highs of day. I still have my next profit target in Netflix at $1.75. Tesla kind of dipping below that level again. IWM trying to hold previous day high. S&P still right there. Tezzy trying to pop back up a little bit. Yeah, the Navigation Trading Show, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. Articulate requested that I talk about how I make a trade plan. So that it will be the topic of conversation today. Troy is out. Matt is in. So it'll be Matt and I today. All right. seeing a little dipping coming in. S&P dipping, NASDAQ dipping. Gonna need to see something out of you, Tezzy. Gonna need to see it. IWM acting the strongest of the three. Big banks all just kind of chopping near highs. Crypto's taking off. Big volume in Circle on a big push. Bitcoin back up to highs. All right, we've been here for over an hour, Tezzy. Gonna need to see something. Act like you want to be here, Tezzy. Netflix just kind of chopping. I'll still hold my runners in Netflix. Staying strong through all of these dips. MU still pulling back after that big surge it had. Microsoft still kind of pulling back after that big surge. Amazon's chopping near highs. IWM popping back up to highs of day. Well, while I'm waiting, I'm going to check on a couple other things here. Let me know if Tesla gets ready. Just waiting on you, Tesla. Just waiting on you. no continuation out of Netflix. No continuation out of Tesla. No continuation out of much of anything right now. IWM pushing new highs. Microsoft's a little dip trying to get bought up. Meta, decent little bounce. Apple trying to go green. AMD trying to get back in the green. Circle is pushing hard. MSTR chopping around green. Coinbase tried to go green a couple times, getting rejected a little bit. Hood at highs of day up about 2%. All right, guys, I'm going to wrap the stream. I'll finish up the Tesla and Netflix trades in the trade channel. I've currently got a profit target set in Tesla at $5 as my first profit target. I may move that down a little bit because we've seen a little bit of premium decay going on since we've been sitting in this. And then Netflix, we've gotten out of 2 profit targets. I've got just my runners left, and I've got 7 lots left in Netflix. I've got an order to close 4 of those 7 at $1.75. So it would need to push back through highs of day. Otherwise, I'll post in the trade channel on any profit targets or exits at Navigation Trading Show, 11 a.m. Central, noon Eastern. Trade plans, be there or be square. See you in Power Hour as well. Take care.